People say the past always comes back, but single dad Armin never imagined it would return inside a billionaire's mansion, staring at him from a giant framed portrait. It was his wife. His wife who died 5 years ago. His wife smiling in a stranger's home, like she had lived a second life he never knew about. When Armin, trembling and furious, asked the billionaire, "Why is my wife's photo in your mansion?" The billionaire didn't speak. He simply opened a secret drawer. And what came out changed everything Armin believed about love, loss, and truth. Armin was a 34-year-old single father, poor, exhausted, and always one bill away from breaking. His wife Meher had passed away in an accident 5 years earlier, leaving him alone to raise their daughter, 6-year-old Anaya. He worked anywhere he could, construction sites, deliveries, night shifts, anything to keep food on the table. Anaya always hugged him tightly every morning before school, whispering, "Papa, one day you won't have to work so much." Those words were the only fuel left in him. One evening, Armin received a strange phone call from a private office. A woman said, "Mr. Armin, the CEO of Rahim Global Industries wants to see you. Tomorrow morning. It's urgent." Armin froze. That company belonged to Sheikh Rahim, one of the richest, most powerful men in the country. Why would someone like him want to see a man like Armin? Armin went, mostly out of fear and curiosity. The mansion was enormous, bigger than any building he'd ever entered. A butler escorted him through hallways lined with antique vases, marble statues, and paintings worth more than his lifetime earnings. But then, his feet stopped. His heart pounded painfully. His breath caught in his throat. On the wall, in the center of a private gallery, hung a massive portrait of his wife, Meher, laughing, glowing, alive. The world around him blurred. Armin stumbled back. What is this? Why is my wife here? Who put her picture here?" Before the butler could answer, a tall, gray-haired man entered the room. Sheikh Rahim himself. He looked at the portrait for a long moment before turning to Armin. "You must be Armin," he said softly. Armin clenched his fists. "Tell me why my wife's photo is in your house. Who gave you the right?" But Sheikh Rahim raised a trembling hand and whispered, "Because I knew her long before you did." The room fell silent. Armin's anger melted into confusion. His chest tightened. "What are you talking about?" he asked. The billionaire walked toward a locked drawer, pulled out a key, and opened it slowly. Inside was a jewelry box, velvet, old, and preserved with care. He handed it to Armin. Armin opened it, hands shaking. Inside were letters, dozens of them, all addressed to Sheikh Rahim. In Meher's handwriting. Armin's mind spun with fear, betrayal, questions. "You're lying," he whispered. "My wife never hid anything from me." Sheikh Rahim sighed deeply. "I wish that were true." Armin felt the walls close in. Why did this billionaire have love letters written by his late wife? Why did he display her portrait like she was someone he cherished? Armin stared at the man, trembling with rage and heartbreak. "Tell me everything," he demanded. And Sheikh Rahim nodded slowly, because the truth he carried was heavier than anyone imagined. Sheikh Rahim motioned for Armin to follow him to a private terrace overlooking the city. His voice was calm, but his hands trembled. "I didn't know she married you," Rahim said. "I didn't even know she had a daughter. Meher and our connection was from before your time." Armin's chest tightened, the fear of betrayal tightening its grip. "Are you saying you were in love with her?" Rahim exhaled painfully. "It wasn't like that. She wasn't mine. She never was. But I owed her my life." Armin blinked. "What?" Rahim looked away, eyes misty for the first time. 20 years ago, when I was young, before wealth, before power, I was attacked by men trying to steal everything I had. I was stabbed, left on the roadside. No one stopped. His voice cracked. No one, except a college girl named Meher. Armin's jaw dropped. Rahim continued. She took me to the hospital. Paid for my treatment. Stayed by my side until my family arrived. She disappeared before I could thank her. For years, I searched for her. Not because of love, but because she saved my life. Armin swallowed hard. It didn't make sense. Why would Meher hide something so pure? Rahim added. The letters in that box, they are my attempts to thank her. I eventually found her address, but the letters always came back unopened. She refused to take any money from me. She wanted no credit, no recognition. Armin opened the letters again. Every envelope was sealed, untouched. Then why the photo? He whispered. Rahim's voice broke. Because 5 years ago, when she died, someone anonymously sent me her obituary. Only then did I learn she was gone. The portrait is the only way I know to honor the person who saved me. Armin's anger dissolved into painful guilt. His wife wasn't hiding a betrayal. She was hiding her kindness. Her humility. Her greatness. But one question remained. Why call me here? Armin asked softly. Rahim turned toward him, eyes burning with emotion. Because gratitude does not end with death. I couldn't help Meher when she was alive, but I can help you and your daughter now. It's the only way I can repay her. Armin felt his throat tighten. This billionaire, whom he thought was his enemy, was offering the one thing life had never given him. A chance. Rahim continued. I want to sponsor Anaya's education. A full scholarship to the best school. And I want to offer you a permanent job, one that honors what your wife would have wanted for her family. Armin wiped his tears, overwhelmed. Why do this for strangers? Rahim placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Because your wife wasn't a stranger. She was the reason I lived long enough to become who I am. And now, it's my turn to give back. Armin looked at the portrait again, not with confusion, but with pride. His wife wasn't just a memory. She was a legacy, a ripple of kindness that changed lives even after death. As Armin walked out of the mansion, holding Anaya's hand later that day, he whispered. Your mama, she was a hero. And today the world finally told us. And for the first time in years. Armin felt hope rise inside him.